say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Happiness and kindness is a choice. Wake up.
Okay, there we go.
I say.
It's already, who shared it already? Gee whiz, thank you.
Me.
It was, that was quick. Let's see. Let me share this to my page.
Shared it to mine. I'm looking at it from the
It's
group.
already
Though.
on the group. It
Yeah,
should be
looking at it.
automatically coming up on the group.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's there.
Cool beans. We got a lot of people in the room. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Wow.
This is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by me, God Level. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a mother. I'm a nurse. I'm an entrepreneur. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Slide Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and father who has a album out right now called The Law of Affirmations, available on all streaming platforms. You guys got a sample of it at the disclaimer. So yes, that was Moa. That is one of the many albums that I have. Look up John Skywalker on your favorite streaming platform device, John Skywalker, and you'll see my whole catalog there. If you like positive, conscious, introspective hip hop, something that's on the lighter side of things, you want to support a local artist, John Skywalker. Salute.
King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace. This King Newborn. You can follow me at all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, this is DJ Magic. No, I was playing.
Wow.
No, as always, I am.
Okay.
That's what's up. Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
I say, Hetepu, Uncle Jasanea. This is Sabah Diamond, new owner of a new company called Abode of Osar LLC. It is an institute of personal excellence, life coach, spiritual guide, spiritual teacher, fitness guru, fitness and nutrition expert, and so many other things. But I think the main thing to know is that I'm a part of this lovely group right here, and it's definitely a highlight in my life.
Thank you. Peace and blessings to you too, Miss Melissa. She's on YouTube watching us. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Before, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Tonight, we are doing child support, men versus women. This is going to be interesting because John posted some really good questions this week. He's always coming out the bank with those questions. Child support. It is an ongoing periodic payment made by a parent for the financial benefit of the child following the end of a marriage or similar relationship. Who would like to go first?
Well, God Level, I would like to ask the panel. Well, not the panel. God Level, just to you.
Okay.
He say men versus women.
Well, I think that's an aspect of it. I was going to let that go too, just for now, but just add the other aspects. That ain't all it is, beloved.
Oh, yeah,
it's multifaceted.
It is.
But it's because it's men versus women. It's men versus the system. It's women versus the system. And it's men and women versus the system.
Break it down, brother.
So, but right now we can talk about this segment of the men versus women aspect of it. That's a whole nother thing. I was already feeling you, brother. I'm right.
That's what we agreed on at the end of the show last week. So that's what I put. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not above being corrected. Not above being corrected.
No, we just showing you.
Oh no, it's not. No.
Yeah. No, you still good.
No, you're on point. No, you're on point.
Yeah, you're on point. That's just an aspect. You're just adding the other aspects. I just
let's add them all. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to hearing what you all have to say because I know this affects men more so than it does women.
I'm gonna say it
It's
Mhm.
affects
easier
the
for women
children
because
more than it
yeah,
affects
yeah.
anyone.
Okay, well we could say that too. We'll say that, yeah. But when it
Mhm.
comes to the financial part, they come after you all.
Oh
They take
well.
money out of y'all check like taxes. You don't even see it. It just get took.
You said it take
Yeah.
money out of your check and it takes your taxes. Is that what you said?
No, I
That's what it
said
sounded
it
like you
take
said.
no.
No,
I
he
said
does
if
that
they
too.
take
That's why I said what I said.
they take
Thank you, Sabadam.
you know what?
He does that too.
I see this gonna be one of those episodes where I just sit down and just
Oh no, no,
learn
no, no, no,
something.
no.
No, no, no,
I'm
no, no, no,
pretty
no, 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 no,
sure.
no.
I'm pretty sure this will be a very building conversation. Things that people
Absolutely.
don't want to talk about. See, look at it already. See, check it out.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Now, man, Miss Carla.
Yes, that's
First of
right.
all, I want to say
oh, please
welcome.
call.
Please call in to
Ooh,
express
oh, we
and
would
share
love to.
your
Yeah.
views.
Yes.
Please.
832
Yes.
318-6966. It's a scam. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a
Of
scam.
course it is.
It's a
Man,
scam.
you gonna Miss Carla, when you call in, you're gonna hurt some feelings.
No
But this is a very,
doubt.
very, very, very peaceful, loving platform. We
Yes.
welcome we
Mhm.
welcome all comments. We welcome all comments. We're actually here for the community.
Yes.
And like the main topic is things that people don't want to talk about. And this is a very delicate subject. So Miss Carla, if you're still watching us, please feel
Carla
free to
Belton.
call in, please.
Mm, mm, mm. Go ahead, John. You want to start with some of the questions that you posted this week on the group?
I mean, I feel like we can kind of start here first in terms
Okay,
of
go ahead.
how did we
Well,
get
oh, you
here,
said
right?
what's the number? Hold on.
I'll post it right now.
832
I'll post it.
318-6966. She said, what's the number? Don't
Yep. Also,
call.
look at the ticker at the bottom. We got the
Yes.
ticker down here. Right. So from what I've gathered and from what I've heard, a little bit of research, not a lot, wasn't heavy. Um, Child support enforcement, right? So it was created by the federal government as a way for the states to recoup the cost of providing child-related welfare, right? So here we go. All right, let's start somewhere in the 70s, right? Let's just start in the 70s. This is where married nuclear families were the standard. They were the norm. And they were gendered more often than not, right? So we're talking about the traditional family. Fathers were the sole breadwinners, right? Mothers raised the children. And when the no-fault divorce legislation came about, most states began to follow suit, right? And so you see an increase in divorces, and you have children that are fatherless. We're talking about resources, financial resources leaving the home. So the mother would be left behind. Dad would go off and create a new family. And of course, this is a patriarchal system where men are the higher earners. So women, like the way that the system was set up, it was not set up for single mothers yet. Okay. We're in a space where single motherhood is not the norm. And the system, the institutions don't support that. So in concert with this, you have like the hippie movement, right? The 60s and 70s was the hippie movement, free love and all that. So more babies, single households are really starting to become the norm. You're starting to see them pop up. And so legislation is passed in the 70s. Oh,
I'm sorry, who do I have on the line tonight?
This is Miss Carla.
Hi, Miss Carla. Thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it. Oh my God. Go ahead with your comment. Let me unplug this phone.
So basically, like I said, I used to work at the civil court. I worked there for 8 years. I was a child support supervisor, and child support has nothing to do with the child. it has nothing to do with the child. It's another way of them scamming us to believe that they're trying to help us. But really, it's all about the state getting as much money from us as they can.
Oh,
Miss Carla.
Yes.
You still work for the civil courts?
No, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't.
Okay. I was only saying for the simple fact of he was still working there, and we are currently live, and we on like how many platforms are we on?
4.
We're on 4 different platforms, and I just wouldn't want to put your job in jeopardy for saying it. So
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not there anymore. I couldn't deal with it no more. It was just too much.
would you mind sharing some different events that you personally
One
experienced
story
there?
that sticks out to me was, so there was this young man, just turned like 19. He had just gotten his first job. He was so excited. And he was trying to figure out where this money was coming from. Of course, when you come to the civil courts, they don't want to tell you anything. They always say, come and get a lawyer. Not everybody can afford a lawyer. So because I was a supervisor, I went beyond what I was supposed to do because I wanted people to be aware of what was actually happening. And I did a little digging and found out that they had put a child support order on this young man. Now, mind you, I said he had just turned 19. His child was 5. So what had happened was he had a babysitter. She was molesting him. She got pregnant and put him on child support. But he was a kid and he had no idea what was going on. So when he first got his job, he was in arrears over $5,000 because of the child support order that he had no idea about.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Tragic.
When he tried to talk to them, nobody wanted to hear anything. It was about the money. And I'm like, that's insane. He was a child. Like, if you just look at the paperwork, just use common sense. How is he supposed to know he had a baby? And then she was molesting him. So it was just, I was so annoyed. And they really tried, they put him in jail. This little boy went to jail all over this mess. And I was just really frustrated because it's like, that's just one story. I have so many stories. They make it seem like men are deadbeats. That's not true. A lot of women use that child support as a way to get back at them. And at the end of the day, they're not even getting that money. So it's just so stupid.
Oh, wow.
So you saying that they've actually witnessed them weaponizing the child support system, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can you please express?
And at the end of the day, they don't care about her or them or him. You know, they just want the money. It's all about the money.
Wow.
So can you break down, elaborate a little bit more when you say that even though let's say the father is paying child support, it doesn't even go to the mother. Where does that end up?
No, it goes to a lot of hands, like the state. So, okay.
Operational costs.
Does not, if the mom does not receive any state aid, food stamps, a welfare check or stuff like that, if they don't receive that, they will get some of that money, but you got to pay the state for going through the process of getting this money for you. You have
operational costs.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy because if you would just talk to these people, you could really see what really it's all about. I'll just say this. You'll have a girl upset with the guy. He's not doing what she wants. So I'm going to take you to child support. Okay, so she takes me to child support. You're going back and forth, going to court, wasting this man's time when he could be at work, bugging him over something that y'all could have talked about. Because literally, 9 times out of 10, these women do receive stuff from the state. So now he has to pay $300, $400, $500 a month, and she might get $30 because the rest of that money goes to the state for arrears or food stamps or the cash that you receive. Because they really do want that cash back that the mom received for the child. They want it back.
Mm-hmm. And that cash that's actually taxpayer money in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is a big scam.
Okay.
And I wish they would just do away with it altogether because they make it seem, and they really do make it seem like our men are deadbeats, and that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
That is not true. It was so many men that I would pull to the side and be like, you need to do this, this, and this, because they're trying to railroad you. There are so many great fathers out there, and they want to be a part of their child's life. But these women, they're so blinded by the fact that, oh, I could take him to child support and I'm gonna hurt him this way. But you're hurting your child at the end of the day. Like, you're not hurting him, you're hurting the child.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see that. They don't see that.
Oh wow, I'm speechless.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I am
Wow.
They
speechless.
have so many men out here that work hard and they do whatever they can and they pay child support and still buy their child things outside of child support.
Outside of that. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
They'll be
Yeah.
like, well, I got receipts for what I bought. That's a gift. It's a gift because it wasn't ordered by the judge.
Exactly. They don't count it.
No.
They don't count it.
But he has a whole family. Like, he don't supposed to eat. He's just supposed to take care of the child.
Right.
Like, that's just, I mean, I'm sorry. This whole child support stuff makes me crazy. It really does.
Right. And cannot claim any of his children on his taxes. Anyone that he's paying child support.
Oh no. You got to get that in the court order. You got to get that court order.
Mm-hmm. Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
So Miss Carla,
But at the same,
can I-
yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask you, do you know of any cases where you've seen some men actually be like construction workers or they actually need their driver's license to get to and from work, but the state would snatch their driver's license as a part of the court order to continue to pay child support. Have
Yes,
you
that's
experienced
like,
any cases like that?
They find all sorts of ways to they make it seem like to get you to pay child support, but really it's just to hinder you more because they make more money when the man's in jail anyway. But they prefer to put him in jail because they make more that way.
Yep.
Yes.
Housing.
Labor.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like
One
Master
guy,
Skywalker
he was
said.
a truck driver. And he's like, y'all trying to take my driver's license, this is the way I make my money. And again, another guy who didn't know he had child support on him because he was an over-the-road truck driver. He had no idea that there was a support order out for him, but see what they don't realize is that before they even put an order out there, they let it sit wherever they need to sit, just so they
Facts.
can gather arrears. They need it to be over they need to be over at least $3 to $5 grand. So now they have a reason to come after you because now it can become a felony. So they wanted to sit back and you not know that you have this order because it's still going on, even though you don't know about it. But then once those arrears accumulate enough, now they come after you. They come after you with everything now because now it's a felony.
Big facts. Big facts.
I'm speechless. I am. Do y'all have any other questions for Miss Carla?
Wow.
Yes, I want to know how long did you work for St. Louis Civil Court?
I worked there for 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
I
Wow.
was trying to help as many people as I could.
So, since we have you on the phone, what advice would you like to give to help those that are listening?
Mm.
Well, for one, if you already have an order in place, please have your own lawyer. Try to get a lawyer that doesn't deal with the court system. Like, okay, what I mean by that is, so behind the scenes, these judges and these lawyers, they're friends. So they talk to each other, like they making deals behind the scenes that you have no idea about. So if you get you a lawyer, try to find one that can represent you in the state that you're in. But maybe if you have a city case, try to go get you a county lawyer because they really are working together. They literally do work together. Like, you watch my back, I'm gonna watch yours. And most of the time, you paying these lawyers to do things for you, and you end up doing most of the legwork yourself. And then at the end of the day, that's their buddy, that's their golfing buddy, and they hang out with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you just got to be really careful about the lawyers that you do get. Because I'm not saying that there aren't any out there that won't do their job, but the majority of them, they all work together. But for one, if you do not have any children and you are involved with a young lady, I don't care if she is your wife. While that child is being born and you're in the hospital, get your paternity test immediately. And as a woman, don't take it personally. These men have to protect themselves because they're being raped straight point blank, period. Yeah. And it's horrible. And I'm so tired of watching it happen.
So, so in your opinion, would you say that have you experienced anything good come out of child support for the child?
I'm not going to say that there aren't men out there that don't help take care of their children because there are some, but for the most part, no, I really don't. Because seriously, I've seen moms that get really good money from child support, and they getting their hair done, they getting a new outfit to go out with, and the poor child still looks like they didn't have no clothes or food or whatever. So I mean, it's messed up all the way around. I just don't like child support at all. I really just don't. I don't. Not if you have to go through the court system, I'll say.
So what's the alternative? Speaking directly to our community, like if what's the alternative? Like rather than going to get child support and things like that, how can we work with each other? You know, what would it take for us to work with each other to reconcile our parental issues rather than going to the state?
Take our feelings out of it and realize that it has nothing to do with you or I. At the end of the day, it's about our child. So if we care about our child, let's just make the best result in choices for the child. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to love each other. But can we be civil enough to make sure that our child is raised the right way?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent. And I see that you know, we have, you know, in regard to what you were saying about how some women use the money for child support, I believe that's what Miss Phyllis was objecting to.
Yeah.
She was saying that wasn't true, but we know in some cases it is, and not saying it's true for everyone, I'm pretty sure. But Phyllis, I would love to hear your side of it.
It's not true for all moms, no, but there are a lot of them, and she knows some of them. Stop playing. Let's be real. You know some of them, they can't wait to get their check, and they spending it on everybody but the child. Stop playing. Everybody knows somebody to do it.
Yep. She said, keep it real.
Right. Come on now.
Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions for Miss Carla?
No, I really thank you for your input. That's a real help. You know, you being on the front lines.
Call in.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one more question though, beloved.
Yes.
So, like, I know at some point my child support mail stopped being from the attorney general, and then it seems like it went to some sort of a private company, like
Mhm.
Support for
Oh
Kids
Lord.
and things like that.
And you're gonna
So,
pay for them too. You're gonna pay for them too.
well, that's what I'm saying, uh, but even this, so this whole thing has been a contracted, even that division is not really a state-born division. It is a private division, you know,
Uh-huh.
to where it's contracted. So yeah, so that's probably why we pay for it like that as well. Again, you
Yep.
know, uh,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm,
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 That's so sad. It's just so sad.
it is.
hmm
God. And I want to thank you for calling in and sharing your story with us. I really, we really do appreciate it. Wow. Mm.
Great
Miss
topic.
Miss
Hopefully they'll help
Miss Caller,
someone.
can you do Miss Caller, can you do us a huge favor? Can you follow
Sure.
each and every one of us on this panel and tune in? We do this each and every
Every week.
Sunday at
Yeah.
hmm
7 p.m. We currently
Okay.
have how many videos we have now? What, 60?
68, I believe.
Yeah, we
60,
have
up to 60.
68. Yeah, we got 68 currently uploaded that originally started as a live feed, and then we record the entire show and we repost it. We're just trying to
Okay.
help our algorithm to touch more
Okay.
viewers and listeners. So if you could do that for us, we would greatly appreciate it.
That's shady.
Absolutely, I'll do it.
But
All
thank you,
right.
beloved.
Thank you
Mhm.
for calling in. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Good night.
You too.
That's shady.
Bye-bye.
Peace, peace, peace.
I
Where
love
Miss
is
it.
Miss
Phyllis.
Jackson?
Yeah, I was
Where
gonna
is
say,
yeah?
Miss
Where
Jackson.
is Miss Jackson? Tell her to call in.
The line is open, Miss Jackson.
Come on in, Miss Jackson.
I don't know.
She talking about a 1,300-mile stretch, California to Missouri.
That's a long way.
That's
Right.
man, that's a lot
I
right
know.
there.
I drove it. Well, from Wisconsin to California, I drove that. It is a
She said
long way,
she was lucky enough to not know women like that personally,
but
but
she
she
know they
do know they
exist.
exist.
Mm.
Yeah,
I say,
yeah,
I say.
they
Well,
exist.
I think what what she really brought is the um the tyranny that the system itself is bringing, as Master Skywalker was just uh pointing out, how this whole system began. And everything always starts out with one idea, but then it morphs into other ideas, and those ideas always end up including greed. Greed and more ways to line, people's pockets and things like that. There's a lot of that stuff, as we know, with a lot of the reports, all the tax monies and stuff like that that we put in. And I think America is one of the most overtaxed countries in the world. And I say overtaxed because we really don't get any returns for our taxes. And these little tax returns, they give them back to you because it's really not legal for them to take it from you in the first place. Did y'all know that they
Yes,
had to have eight states sign off on income tax thing, and they only got six. They never
we're
got
gonna
their
talk
eight.
about that.
Yeah. So, but they wanted to line their pockets even more so. So it becomes a whole thing of greed. So we've been taken for a ride, big
Mhm.
time, and this is just one of them. But let's talk about the deeper, sinister effects and agenda of the child support system.
The number.
Hmm?
The number. I'm
It, it's
sorry,
it's
Miss.
scrolling.
Oh, I got you. I'll
There
post
you
it now.
go. Yeah. So their agenda also is truly about having a societal effect on how we relate to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So there is an intentional uh, causation of fighting and conflict within our families and within our communities and things like that as well. You know,
Social engineering.
yes, it is social engineering. You know, So anyway, we just talked about this the system versus, you know, the men and women. So um yeah. So anyway, I just want to put that out there. I'm hoping Miss Phyllis Jackson calls in because I would love
Yeah,
to hear
then
that.
here's another thing. I mean, because you could break it all the way down to the birth certificate. Once the mother signs up, and you know, I want to tread softly on this. So let me just say, from
Ooh, this is God level. Who am I speaking with?
This is Miss Jackson.
How you doing, Miss
Mhm.
Jackson?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good.
peace, 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 Queen.
Oh, go back. What was she saying? Go back.
So what I was saying was in regards to like my particular situation. My son's father, he was a truck driver, and the state put him on child support. I never went to them and asked them for any, I never got any kind of social assistance. What happened was I went to school, and when I applied for federal aid for school, that's when, you know, I'm signing papers as a young college student. You don't really know what you're doing. You just like, oh, get this money to help me get through school. And that's when my son's father was put on child support because I went for federal aid to help me get through school.
Wow.
So when she was talking about it being a system, a setup, yeah, they don't really explain to you all of the little subsets that are within some of the things that you're doing. So it's one, I learned a lot because I was like, reading the fine print really does have benefits because I had no intention of going for stuff for my father.
Wow.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep.
And then once he got on child support, he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go join the military, thinking that he was going to be avoiding collections. And the first thing they asked him was, did you have any dependents?
Exactly. Exactly.
And so that's where, so that's okay. But first thing I had them do, I had to have the military, because he was in the Marines, I had to have that's when the went straight to my son's school because he was going to private school. Because I didn't want too much money.
Okay.
You know, when some women use it to get their hair done and their nails done, and none of it goes to the child. That's what at my opinion. I know I was never that type of person because, like I said, to this day, there's about $20,000 in arrears that I've never pursued, and my son is 25 now.
Right.
He graduated from college. I graduated from college, and we're doing it. So we, you know, it could sit out there like a bad credit card debt for all I care.
Wow.
Let me ask you this: if he came to you and asked you to forgive that arrears, would you?
Yeah, I tried, but because California has different laws than Missouri, I couldn't do. I wrote a letter. I called. He erased it off even before it got $20,000. But because he was in California and they have different laws than Missouri, it was that I could do.
Say that last part again because you was kind of breaking up.
I'm sorry. I said I tried to call. I did a over the phone deposition. I did whatever I could, but they just said, well, you know, as long as it's out there and he's not made any attempt to make a payment, there was nothing I could do.
Wow. So that's just it.
And that just shows you right there that if there's a new that's like a new agreement between the two parties, and that's a whole nother order because it takes an order to stop an order. So when there's a new,
I asked. I said, "What can I do?" Because I don't want, you know, he was mad at me. My son is grown. I'm like, well, you know, either pay it or what have you. I'm not getting the money, so I don't care. And I called. I talked to the people. I gave a statement. I wrote a letter. I even had it notarized.
I'm like, I don't know what else I was supposed to do.
Damn.
Mm.
Wow.
Damn. That's crazy.
Someone else
So
said
it's
yes.
just- but then he was also never involved in my son's life. But I was like, it hurts my son, but at the same time, like the lady said, the money is not going to change the level of involvement.
That part.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Because like I said, I think my son would give every dime that is owed to him back if he could have had that time or had his dad in his life, like he thought was his friend.
Wow.
That's deep. That's real deep.
Because you don't ever hear about the man's side. You don't ever hear about the man's side.
Well, in today's society, you're not going to hear about the man's side because you feel like the man's side, he's crying, playing victim.
Yeah.
He's
He's
complaining.
supposed to just shut up. Yeah, he's supposed to shut up and just
take it.
Yeah, that's not the masculine thing to do. Yeah,
exactly.
But
Just be a
then
man.
remember, we are still in the Me Too era, and this is part of that too. It's somebody's got to be a victim. You have to make an enemy out of somebody, and this is the way they choose to balance the economy. So this is how countries make enemies out of each other, and this is supposed to spruce up morale and all that stuff within the country and all this other kind of stuff. But even within communities, somebody's got to take sides. So they got us broken it down with separation of being segregated from Republican and Democrats to men and women to straight and gay and all these religion and all this other kind of stuff. So even in all of that,
it's just another distractive talking point, something to distract you from what's really going on.
And it's divisive. As long as they have us divided, we are weak. Because as soon as we stop that, as soon as we learn how to deal with this issue ourselves, nobody ever goes to the state or anybody for child support, but we within the community learn how to work that out. That's gonna really mess them up. Watch what happens. That'll make that illegal.
There's a really good organization here in St. Louis. I know the Father Support Center is really working hard to tackle that issue. I mean, my brother he went through their program and it did a lot to help him.
Do you have that information?
Yeah.
I can inbox and give you that information. It's called the Father Support Center.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was trying to find, and I had lost that information. Yeah, so if you could,
yeah, that's
inbox that.
I think it's off of Pope, Newstead and Pope.
Yeah.
It's the Prince Hall building.
And are they just localized there, or do they have institutions or organizations around the country?
I think they're local to St. Louis, but I do know that they do a lot of work with the Urban League. So some of their lectures and conversations that they have reached out, and they've been in some of the counselors have gone to the prison system or in the workhouse and stuff like that to talk to some of the guys in there about their rights and how they handle it post-incarceration. So I know that they've done a lot of work that kind of expands beyond the St. Louis footprint.
Right, excellent. Because that's the main thing. We want to make sure that if anybody needs any help in this area, we want to at least provide some resources, that they can explore.
I think anyone outside of St. Louis can always go to the website for resources. They post a lot of articles and things of that nature, so they may not be able to get direct help, but they can, tools and resources are available on their website.
Ashe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Got a resource.
Yes.
Dang.
Uh,
You know that. Oh,
No,
she's
go
still,
go ahead. No, go ahead. She's still there.
oh, she's
Are
still
you
okay.
are you still there, Miss Jackson?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I'll hold. I'll hold.
Okay. Do y'all have any other questions for Miss Jackson?
No, I want to say, beloved, we super greatly appreciate you calling in.
Mhm.
I can't stress it enough.
I'm glad I got introduced to the platform by one of your moderators. So he's a close friend of mine. At least I like to count him as such. But you know,
That's beautiful.
Who?
That's beautiful. Who are you referring to?
he's a bar.
John.
He's got newborn in his name.
Oh, that will be I. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. That's peace, Queen. Peace. Greatly appreciate the support.
Yes. Oh,
That's right.
Man, that's love all the way across the board. As I'm gonna continue to say it because I think it's very, very important. The purpose of this podcast, which is brought to you by God Level, things that people don't want to talk about, and is real touchy subjects that we hit on, but things like this we got to break the ice on and try our best. And I have to say this platform is for the community, but we're trying to erect a village so we can continue to be support for the community. You know, we need to stop outsourcing and start to work inside. The more we outsource, the more we relinquish our power. And by coming together as a village, we take our power back. I mean, I don't want to talk about other ethnic groups, but they work in-house. If we take the time out to try to work in-house, we can combat a lot of our own issues and we can rise up together. But again, I just want to
I'm
say,
gonna disconnect. I gotta get the pie out the oven. So I'm listening.
And thank you.
Save me some.
Good night.
All right.
All right.
thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Darn right. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, John.
I
Go ahead.
was gonna ask, isn't it kind of interesting that, well, first off, that experience right there of having a resource, that's really telling that we've all grown up around this system that we don't really know a whole lot about. We only know about its effects, right? We know about the effects of it, but we don't really know the system. You know, and this is supposed to be a system that's designed to serve the people, right? So how is it? It's kind of like I got this. It's like I got this phone, but I don't know how to use it. You say this is supposed to serve me, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. I know what it is to a certain extent. I know that it can have these effects, but it seems more like almost like a scare tactic than an actual support system. You know, it's weird in that sense. And then the fact that there's not enough resources out there to help just the average person who can't afford legal counsel how to navigate all of this. You know, like you need counsel. You need counsel to handle something that's complicated. Child support, like that's a whole bunch of legal jargon. You don't know what's going to happen if you put your kid's mom or your kid's dad on child support. You don't know. You don't know with absolute certainty. And then there's even this pressure from the state to put a spouse, an ex-spouse, a child's other parent on child support. Oh, you want this? Well, we need to know who's the father of that kid real quick. Oh, no, nothing's going to happen to him. Nothing's going to happen to him. We're just going to put him in debt real quick, you know, because you want this. So somebody's got to sign for this because you can't afford this. You know, it just smells like oppression in so many ways. And yet at the same time, it's just like, okay, like it's here. We don't know. We don't know what to do with this. It's just like it's here. It's like this thing. that you can't really, you almost can't evade it. You almost can't, right?
Yeah.
And we mentioned something earlier. I had a thought about it, but I'm gonna come back around. I'm gonna kind of pinch it off there.
So what I like what you said though, it also highlights the the prison pipeline, you know, because it's another way to redirect everybody
Yeah.
right back into the prison system. So if it was still a good guy who you would never catch slipping because he already had his stuff all in a line, but he could have a child and have a disagreement with a woman who he
Mhm.
had that child by, and that would be his direct
Ooh.
line to prison. Why is that a crime? Why is that being treated like it's a crime? You know, being a father, you know, and why isn't there more effort by the state officials to bring reconciliation,
Mhm.
you know, with between the two, rather than allowing themselves to be weaponized by one or the other? So
I,
very good commentary, John.
I
Very
have a
good.
thought.
Hmm.
If child support was to go away and men was not responsible for paying anymore, I think a lot of women will keep their legs closed.
Okay, that might be fair. That might be fair. Yeah, there's it's
Well,
possible.
I don't know, because that's I don't think that goes into any type of factors when it comes to them opening their legs in the first place. You know,
Women like money.
understood, but they also like to feel good.
They like to, and they want
Mhm.
someone who's got some money that
Hmm.
can provide
Yeah,
for
but
them.
women will also
Hey,
compromise their character. They will compromise
Yes,
a lot of things in order to get a little something, something.
yes,
hey,
yes.
Hey,
look at all that charming and charisma that John got. Who can resist that? I'm just saying.
like you supposed to be at work at 9. I could make you take a sick day. Like you'll lose money dealing with a man. You know, come on, women. We know,
What?
we know.
Well, I'm just saying that there's a lot of factors that goes into that, and most on a higher percentage, there is not a thought about the repercussions, you know, child support and things, because when you're doing that with somebody, you're not thinking about
Mm,
when you know the end. You're not thinking
yeah.
about not being with them. You're not thinking
You
about
Especially when you're young.
yeah,
Especially when you're
especially
hold
young.
on.
21.
You've
Like,
never
mhm.
heard of the turkey baster?
The
oh
turkey
yeah.
base. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen some
yeah.
movies with that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That women target men with money just so
Oh,
they
of
can
course.
get pregnant
Yeah.
and have a baby, guaranteed
Mhm.
Yeah.
child support
But
every
who are
month
we talking?
up into the
We talking about
thousands.
we talking about kind of an elite status of men. We talking about
Yeah.
these high value men. We talking about athletes. That happens with athletes. That happens with
Mhm.
men that are making a certain amount of money, six figures or
Yeah.
more, and things like that, or even so which still makes up a very small percentage of men.
Okay.
You know, a very small percentage, and also in of these cases as well. You know, but for the most part, I'm not saying that that has not happened in the regular neighborhood either, you know, because just because she fell in love with someone, and in order to keep him, you know, that there's been holes poked in condoms, and um
Mhm.
you know, and or you know, worse, you know, stealing of sperm or whatever, and
Mhm.
inseminating herself
Or
at the
just
right
claiming
time.
that this is his,
Yeah,
because
anything
some
Mhm.
like that.
men won't even go and check to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that it's his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to highlight something real quick for those that are listening, and I'm pretty sure Sabada Ahmed will either correct me on this or agree. Um, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper than starting at child support. I'm gonna go to the day that the child was born. when the mother signs the birth certificate and the father signs the birth certificate, the child has already been awarded to the state. The child becomes state property. And if you feel the need to want to Google this and research it, you'll find out that once you do that, you denote the fact that you're no longer a major, you become a minor yourself. The state acknowledges that the fact once you sign over your child for their birth certificate, you award your child to the state, and you're saying that at this particular point, I know this is my child. State agrees it's your child, but it's still state property. You just added to the manifest. It's kind of crazy, but
well, even more so, they become part of I guess you would call it an underground stock market. You know, they become publicly traded. You know, because that's what that birth certificate is there. It's like a bond.
No, it is a bond. It ain't like it is a bond.
Okay, it is a bond.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
and
sir.
that's been traded. You know, and so a lot of money has been made off of you, and you don't even realize that.
Don't even know it.
Don't even realize it. Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject, though.
That's a whole nother subject.
Deadly subject too.
It is. I'm surprised you even spoke on it.
I was trying not to.
Yeah, I was sitting over here like, did he just say that? Oh shit, it's getting real.
Well, that does have, it has a lot to do with this and how all this stuff is playing out, because you got stuff like that. Like, this stuff is very multifaceted. It has levels to it, you know. So and on a very and when we say we're just the players, you know, you're pretty much the little the characters on a screen of the video. Somebody else is pushing the buttons to make you do what you do. You see, and they know how to do a certain trick. Swing that joystick around and hit AB, and then make you do a fireball. They know how to make you do stuff like that, and it's for the overall effect of what's going on the screen. You see, so they know how to do this stuff, and because they also understand that there's something else while the player is actually looking up at the screen to get points. You know, but the actual characters, which is what we would be, the characters. They don't know. They're just going by while the player is trying to get points. You know, we just playing the agenda out. That's all the character's doing, just playing the agenda out. So it goes pretty deep. It goes pretty deep, and that's just what we have to realize. And this is why I say we have to. It's been so many people who've spoken on this, like in our communities. We're talking about from the Black think tanks. Higher Black intellectuals and so forth, and there's been a lot of people exposed to the information, yet there has been nothing set up that as an avenue for us to go to instead of going to the state for our parental issues. You know what happened? We used to be protected by culture, but as Black Americans, we don't have culture. That's a whole nother topic.
Yep.
Just an idea. Okay, but we were stripped of our culture, and we still have yet to regain or to reclaim a culture, you know, and it will be something that looks different, but we definitely need to get ourselves a culture. You know, that's important because it's culture that protects us. It's culture that keeps us accountable as husband and wife. You know, it's because it's the whole community that comes together and reminds us of the vows that we made. You know, and then even if things were irreconcilable, then if they have to go apart, then there is a way that they're going to make sure that these two still handle their responsibility, never ever needing the system itself, never needing it, because the reason why we get taken by the system is because we ourselves are not one. We are not a system, and you have to become a system to deal with a system, period.
Facts.
Yeah, so until then we're going to continue, but I'm just calling for everybody because I've been bombarded. It's been one of the if I say if I could take one thing back in my whole life, it would be having a child at an early age. It will be having the child with the women, at least two of the women that I had children with. I would take that back because it has a lingering effect even on me right today. And all my kids are grown. Absolutely. And I feel like it was all unnecessary, but
Mm.
and it all could have been avoided. And I feel like the system was actually weaponized, but they know that I done got them pinned up so much. We all in a holding pattern. Okay. Like, yes, y'all be still. Because until I can get this 40 grand as a retainer for this lawyer, I need y'all to set still. They can't touch me, no matter what it is, but they can do all that peripheral stuff. Try to chase any business licenses or driver's like they can do all that. That's fine because I can do without all that too. But they can't touch me. There is no incarceration or nothing like that. Because they know I've had judges tell me that what they looked at, was they said this is illegal. What they're doing to you is illegal. They know this. They know this. Never had, and put it like this, never had my day in court. Never had my day in court. Yet it was just off somebody's word, things were taken from me. Just off somebody's word. You see what I'm saying? Nobody ever came to give me a chance to prove or disprove paternity. Never had that. Okay, so I'm just letting you know how and this is in Texas. Texas is just Texas is evil. That's why I don't want to live back in Texas. I don't want to live back in. I don't care how economically, how much it makes sense economically. I do not want to live back in Texas. It's just an evil. That's an evil state, and they've hurt me so many ways. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing too when we talk about the system. But I definitely don't want. I want us to start thinking of alternatives. How do we turn to each other? How do we start seeking reconciliation in our relationships? And knowing that just because we break up, we still got a relationship. We still have to relate to one another, in other words, and so how do we do that? How do we start to mend these things? And what are the problems even outside of that? What are all the influences? There's a lot of influences, from the music to the TV shows to the novels. There's so many influences. And all that's part of the orchestration as well. That's being orchestrated. What they put in front of you, because now they're hijacking your mind. That is the most dangerous thing. Everybody always talking about protect your identity. You need to protect your mind. That's even more important.
Yes.
Way, way more important. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there.
She inspired me, that first phone call. My ex-husband is actually on child support. I don't know what I would have to do in Ohio to get him off, but I'm going to look into that tomorrow. Because I really don't need his money. My daughter is well provided for, and if whatever he sends, I give it straight to her. That's her. That's when it says child support, that is the support for the child. That's her money. I don't touch that. I give that to her. You do with that as you please. Now, it is going to come a point in time when I'm going to need for you to start thinking about saving a little to the side. I said, but right now, buy what you need first, then get what you want. She bought what she needed with my money, and then bought what she wanted with his.
Bars. I did what Mama told me to do.
Right.
I did exactly what Mama told me to do.
She did.
She hit Mama with the bus down.
So yeah, tomorrow I need to look into getting them off. I don't know who I gotta call, who I gotta talk to.
Call your caseworker. Find out who the caseworker is.
Do you know how this is a court order?
I understand. But you can find out. All you need is the case number. If you
That's it.
Yeah, case number. And it's already linked to a caseworker.
Okay.
And that's how you begin to do that and let the caseworker know what you want to do.
Yeah. Okay, because he probably owes a lot, and I don't hunt him down for nothing. I
Yeah,
don't
all you gotta
call him
do, all
about
you gotta do is
nothing.
say,
Yeah.
I'm ready to forgive that. I would definitely
Okay.
have that talk with him because they're gonna ask him to either first of all come in if he's there, but then if not,
Mm-hmm.
you can arrange an over the phone hearing to where you actually forgive that rears and
Mm-hmm.
dismiss the case, and then
Mhm.
they'll do it. They'll do it. Yeah,
Hopefully.
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because she said she's been trying in California and
California
it
won't
ain't
do it.
it ain't working. So I don't
Mhm.
know how they doing it in Ohio, but
Mm.
if you try, let the brother go.
I just want to say, and I think I speak for the entire panel. We're not necessarily not. I'm not gonna say not necessarily. In no way, form, or fashion are we trying to demonize women behind this. That's
Oh
not the
no,
case
not
at
at
all.
all.
We're definitely speaking directly about the system. Speaking
Hmm.
about the system. But when you learn certain things, after you learn them, you're held accountable for what you know now versus what you knew then. You're coming out of ignorance, so you have to do better because you know better. So with that being said, I just want to say to my sister, God level, I love you and I appreciate how much growth you have came about since the first podcast. Like you man, you keep shining like new money. Every trip you keep unfolding um different layers of yourself, only to bring forth a better version of you. And you're doing it in front of our eyes and in our audience eyes as well. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Hmm.
You
I'll
know,
say.
I got my poem tonight. It's pretty raw,
All right. Looking forward to that.
raw,
Mhm.
uncut.
That's peace. That's
Looking forward.
peace.
Okay,
Yes.
it's very raw. Okay, you've
Right.
been warned. All right, thank you.
All right.
Who is this comment from?
This
I
is from Love Sean. This is from Love
we
Sean.
cannot see her
Mm.
name.
Yeah,
Mm.
because this is
Mhm.
in the in our Facebook
We
group.
talked about that on the
Yeah, yeah. So it
John.
comes up
I
as
answered
Facebook
that
user.
question.
Hmm.
Mm.
So yeah, she said sometimes a lot of people just pay the money and are uninvolved.
Mm.
Part of the reason is they were angry of having to go through the process. Maybe if more parents would communicate and put the child or children first, they could come to a mutual agreement.
Yeah.
You know,
Respect.
you know,
Respect.
in a perfect world, beloved, yes,
Mm-hmm.
in a perfect world, but we have these these messed up energies called emotions
Mm.
that tend to derail us from thinking correctly. It shields us from the attainment of wisdom, you
Mm.
see, and we harbor no understanding because of these emotions, and
Mm.
this seems to be the driving spirit of our community, and it's all emotionally driven. So when it so and this is what this system preys on, is our emotional conditionings. And again,
Mm.
which is why it's even more important for us to cultivate that level of peace and increase our level of awareness, conscious awareness. Because if not, then we're going to continue to fall victim to our own emotional conditionings. And
Mm-hmm.
people will exploit that. They know we get completely dumb, literally, because we drop IQ points in the face of emotional
Mm.
influence. The IQ points literally go down. They've done so many tests and studies on that.
Mm.
Yeah, in emotional situations, people cannot um, comprehend or either um, bring up answers or resolve problems and things like that in the face of an emotionally uh, strong situation. They did a whole lot less than they did without that emotional stress. So so they understand that. So we go by, then it's about satisfying what we feel, what we need, what we like and dislike, and things like that. And it's about making us, we all are reaching to feel better, even if that
Mhm.
means you not feeling so good.
Mm.
But I want to feel better, you know. So that's when it comes down to it, that's the problem to, um, to overcome. How do we get out of that and not create more conditions for ourselves? You know. So good, so good though. But I appreciate that so much though, Love Sean. Um, and you talk about they pay the money and become an uninvolved child, and also Love Sean, you said earlier. Let me go back to it. uh, was that Love Sean who said that?
About what?
Mm, trying to remember what it was.
Is this the
Um,
one I just posted? Is that it?
A lot of what Carla said is
uh,
true.
so not that one, not that one.
Mm,
Um,
okay, I see it.
let's see. I can't remember. Let's see. Was it this one? Oh, this is it. This is it. Phyllis actually said it. I'm sorry. Go ahead though. So you got a call.
No, no, that was
Oh,
someone
okay.
else.
Okay. So Phyllis said it. She said that I would rather have a parental involvement over money, and I never went after my child's father for money. Well, see, this is the thing. So when we're talking about them becoming uninvolved, I know I've demonstrated in my own life that the children that I was able to be involved with, and I really sought involvement in all my kids' lives. The ones that I was successful with being involved in, and I didn't have to pay child support for because that was child support. My involvement is my child support. They had a better
Mm.
outcome than the other kids who I was kept away from. And I'm just calling it like it is because I never ever um, intended for any of my children not to have my presence. Uh, but the involvement is so much more important than the money. So
Mhm.
much more important, you know.
Facts.
So this is just something that we should all strive for, is to be in our kids' lives, but also both parties have to again open up and understand that that's what's best for the child. That is what's best for the child. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm with you 1,000%, Sabadame. Um, I myself, I am on child support, and when you get slapped with rears up front the first time you do receive a letter from the court or a third party involvement, it does sting a whole lot because you're like, what? Wait, what? And it it makes you react instead of take time out to think first and foremost so you can properly move forward to handle the situation. When you don't have true knowledge or true information on how to handle this and also protect yourself, but then also put you in the most optimal position you can to be there for the child, it just becomes a detrimental situation for everybody because at that particular point everybody is acting off emotions and feelings,
Hmm.
and there's no logic to it. And it affect me job wise, affect me as far as like getting credit, it affect me as far as buying a house, and nobody really pays attention to that. I actually had to go to jail twice, and each time in order to get out with 1,500 to get out of jail. Not to mention the money that was missed because during the time I was a barber, so to go to jail and miss those days in jail, it really hurts. It really hurts. And then
Oh yeah.
also when you get arrested in front of your clients while you at work, man, that hurts.
Yes,
That hurts.
humiliation.
Yeah, that part too is almost like you beating a dog. The dog just hollering, but it ain't nothing you can do. I also been arrested when I was with my boys, taking them to school, and I was like, "Ma'am, I'm down the street from their school. Can you at least let me dropped him off at school. My youngest boy, he just kept crying and crying and crying, and at this particular point, I'm helpless. I just got to go with the system. I'm not saying all this to be on some bashing. I'm just saying that I am an example of the system not working, because the only person that was losing in this was my daughter. Ultimately, it's even to the point where families have sided. One feels better than the other, or more capable than the other. In some cases, I understand involving the family. Then in other cases, I feel like the parents should be able to sit down. If you got to lock your own self in a room somewhere, y'all sit down, y'all got to talk it all the way out to reach some type of understanding. Because at the end of the day, I hate to say this, I hate that cliche. You got to come to an understanding for the betterment of the child. I'm not here to try to profess, just like Sabah Ahmed said, not being in my daughter's life a great percentage of her life, even though she's still young, that hurt me a lot. So I know it hurt her. And I'm still dealing with child support right now. Waiting for them to give me another court date. Hopefully, I just hope they don't do another continuance. In hindsight, when I got my CDL, because of child support, let's say I got hired on, or got hired on at a company. I'm not gonna say company names, but I got hired on as a company. Say they get you in, you go through orientation, you get verified through FMCSA, you do your drug test and everything, and they send you on your first load. So you're doing good for about 2-3 months. Then you get hit with child support. They get the company get hit with child support papers. Then they let you know that such is going to be coming out of their check. Then you get a phone call from safety and or security within the company to let you know that you're a risk now, so you can no longer work here anymore. That has happened to me several times, and just recently, I was trying to sign on with the company, and I was denied because I'm unable to obtain my hazmat, and they feel like I would be more of a liability to the company than an asset.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a promise, not a promise. It was it would have been a beautiful setup. But because of child support, it make it hard. And regardless of the fact, it's only looked at, you need to pay, and you need to spend time. But I'm not making no excuses. I just wish all of it could have been done differently. And a lot of information that I know now, I wish I knew then, to better protect myself and to be able to participate and be more involved with my daughter. You just got to protect yourself as a man in society nowadays, because the system will work against you if you don't pay attention to what's going on, and if you don't properly do your research and properly educate yourself. You can get ate alive real quick, and then like once it start going downhill, it just keep going, and you got to remind yourself, I started on the negative side in this, so regardless of what I'm doing, I'm still the bad parent. No matter what, I'm still the bad parent, and I don't know. It's just messed up, because, like I say, at the end, when it's all said and done, the one human being that's affected by all this is the child, period. However you want to put it, the one that's affected by this is the child.
Yeah.
And if that ain't the focus for real, like if you ain't putting your differences aside to come to an understanding, it's like, what are you're not gonna be able to create no peace.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna be able to create peace. You're forcing the child to pick one side versus the other, to say that this side of the family is better than this side of the family. You're not allowing the child to grow and develop in a true facet. True enough, you'll be like, well, there are other men that can step up, or other women that can step up, but it's not other men and women's job to raise someone else's child. again, I understand a community and you need a village. I get that, but when you have a parent that wants to participate,
Mm-hmm. Right.
we all have to be mature and at some point to be like, well, let's talk about this, but not talk about it to where we're wearing our feelings and our emotion as a badge of honor, and instead of looking at it like let's try to be humble, so that way we can come to a true understanding. And John said it best. Might be that day you get that phone call. You got any plans this weekend? Oh, well, cool. How about he or she just stays with me, where you could be free to do what you need to do over the weekend, or you just get that free time period.
What I miss?
Um,
I am so sorry. That was I put out a message. Sundays I'm unavailable unless under extreme emergency. So work calls.
Well,
go ahead.
Yep. But I think that's the overall message is just us having to work together. But I'm looking at this question. You want to lead us through this question, Master Skywalker?
The shots.
Yeah. And we did have some questions posted in the group. I didn't bring those questions up yet, but we pretty much skated on this one. Does child support influence parental involvement and or the quality of parenting from the non-custodial parent? And we can all agree that there is an effect. This is a barrier, and we have feelings about this barrier, and that feeling coming up and it not being resolved is creating more resistance.
It adds more drama. It becomes more and more dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that just very toxic, messed up.
Yeah. Now there are some that are fortunate. I'm saying fortunate, very, very tightly here. Fortunate enough to where money is not the center of their co-parenting relationship, and they have a child support order, but there's parental involvement, and they have the economics to support that part. This was something I wanted to kind of add as a variable to this whole schematic is poverty. So a married couple, now divorced, one of the parents is on child support. That whole thing's going to look much, much different than poor high school graduates, Black, from a impoverished neighborhood, got a child, never married, child support, still poor, same age, different experience with the child support system. So there's more parental involvement here, and it's almost like, all right, it doesn't matter, all right, I pay $1,800 a month, that's nothing to me, okay, but you're still involved as a parent versus this Hispanic man who's not really involved because he's trying to work his way into involvement. I got to work extra hours to pay this off.
Facts.
It looks different. Facts. It looks different, right? Parental involvement looks different when you have the economics in play. If he's got to work, right, and it takes two to get involved. Mom's over here, she holding it down, she working too. She just get the child a little bit longer. He ain't involved. How is that going to impact the child? How is that going to impact him and his self-esteem as a parent? Because that's one of our egos, being a father, right? How is that going to feel when I have to work, but I don't get contact with my child? And then on her end, there's another barrier. You should be doing more. You should. No empathy, right? So
tired of hearing your excuses. You got excuse after excuse after excuse. It's not excuses. It's my reality now.
The fissure, right? The fissure just continues to fizz up. It continues to just become more fractured and more broken, right? So I look at my experience even as it relates to the influence of parental involvement. I was on the child support system. My son's mother put me on there, right? Had no problem with it. I was in the military, had money going into it. But I also did not want to be a father. And so I treated it as such. And so that 469 coming out every month is just like, all right, cool. She got him. You know, I'm over here being the deadbeat dad, not involved, right? But I'm paying my child support, rarely getting my son. There's really no interest there. Fast forward, right? I'm making more, still paying the same, but I'm more involved now as a parent. I care more now as a parent. I have higher expectations as a parent. And I'm looking at this like, all right, man, I'm not liking this system. And so I decide, you know what? I feel like I could be the better parent. I feel that way. I ain't got no lawyer because you got to take that to the court. But my intuition told me, hey, just go home. You're not going to get a job. The whole system collapses because I'm the one that's financing everything. With my little bit of money that was coming out my check, it was financing all that. And with me not working anymore, that whole thing collapsed. I get my son now. Single fatherhood, new concept to me. Never heard of it. And so I start to learn that, you know what? Child support wasn't working for me the way that I thought it was going to. I just accepted it because that's what was thrown my way. There wasn't a, hey, you know, you could try this route, be a better father, more involved father. Nah, we need money. And despite me going through that, I want to highlight gender differences again, highlight it again. Because with me being a single father, I didn't need her child support. I didn't ask. Right now, some people are like, man, you crazy. She would. It wasn't about that for me. We good. I just want you to be a mom. I recognized early on that the presence is way more valuable than the money. We can figure out the money later.
Facts.
When I came to that realization that, hey, when I didn't have the money, hey, we both suffered. Oh, shoot. But with me being the more involved parent, you know, the outcomes for him were much different, you know, and I give her credit too, because, you know, that's hard for a mom to want to let go of their kid. Y'all know how, man, we know how possessive moms are. They ain't giving up. No, to let him parent my baby. No, I'm not. That's women, right? So of course, when we vocalize, hey, let me take him. Let me take her. Let me take them. No. So we got to accept. We got to accept this. So I recognized in that whole thing that we really were in it together. Like going through all that, it was like, dang, all right, this is what she had to deal with. So it made me develop more empathy and recognizing this is why parental involvement is higher than the money. Because now I developed the empathy by being involved. I had the opportunity to do that. But when your system says, no, stay separate, don't come together, well, now, mind you, remember now, we're talking about child support enforcement. We're not talking about family support. This is a different system here. There's a divorce court that is not tied into this. These are different things. Child support is not designed to keep families together. It was never intended to do that.
Right.
So why are we expecting that?
Right.
Why are we expecting it to do something that it's not designed to do? Because we ain't been given another option. We ain't given no other options.
But it does it not come across that way? Because it comes across as if it's to bring balance, because it's always, because automatically it's going after the deadbeat. You know, to make the deadbeat, to bring the deadbeat back to face his or her responsibility. Right.
Offspring of the penal system. Offspring of the penal system.
So I think in a lot of people's eyes, it's supposed to be there to keep balance in the family, and that's not at all what it's doing. It literally just creates more conflict and more of a space in separation between the two, and it ruins. We don't just be mad at each other. we got to go take it out on other people in the neighborhood too. It just really messed up. So it really plays a role in everything that's going on in our communities. And so again, very good looking out there, John. Very good looking out. And it's true that if you want, my oldest daughter, who I love, she's my first princess. However, me and her mom, well, put it like this, her mom never saw eye to eye with me, and I never knew why, but for some reason she's made it a point to keep my daughter kind of like away from me by a 50-foot pole. Go ahead.
This is God Level. Who am I speaking with?
Love, Sean.
Hi, Love Sean.
How y'all doing?
We are doing well. How are you?
Peace, 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 Queen.
Peace. Good to hear you.
What did you want to
When you
say?
first started talking about child support, I was like, well, this doesn't apply to me because my baby. Okay. Okay. So yeah, when I first started talking about child support, I was like, well, this probably too much is not going to apply to me because my baby is 34. So I'm past child support stages. But I'm raising two of my grandsons, and coincidentally, a couple of weeks ago, my friend called me because she worked for child support court. And she was like, well, Sean, I got your case, but I can't do your case because we're friends. I can't work on anybody's case that I know. And I was like, well, I was filed for child support. What are you talking about? So this instance, the state is making me take my grandbaby's parents to court for child support. And I was like, really? So it kind of ties into what Ms. Carter said. I'm paying my grandchildren, my oldest grandson, already 14 years. So you wait 14 years later to tell me now I need to go take the parents to child support court. My grandson will be 17 in January. So I was like, and for me, I never was big on child support. I had two children. I took care of my kids by myself. I feel like a parent should want to take care of their kids. They should not be forced. And if I feel like I got to force you, I just do it alone. And so that's what I did with my kids. And basically, that's what I've done with my grandkids. I did receive some state assistance, but the bare minimum. I get the medical card because they both got health issues. But for the most part, they're pretty healthy kids, so I don't have to take them to the doctor a lot. And when I first got my grandkids, they were 3 and 4. The state was giving me $230 for 2 kids. So it was okay in the beginning because I always worked. I worked a full-time job, so whatever that didn't cover, I worked. So it was no problem. They are now 15 and 16. I get $326 for the same 2 kids. Well, differently, kids, it's expensive to raise kids. My 15-year-old grandson wears a size 13 in the shoes. So his shoes are almost half of what I get a month. But
Thanks.
it's still the same thing. I never thought about taking a parent to child support. For me, it's more of a headache than help because what's going to happen is they're going to collect all the back money as it's in arrears. And for Illinois, you only get $50 per kid. So I don't see why would I go to child support court to get $50 for each child? It just doesn't make any sense. And one, my daughter, she works part-time, and she has another child. So to take the money from her when I'm already helping her take care of the child she has, it doesn't benefit me at all. It to me, it makes no sense. And like I said, my grandson is going to be 17. Why did this come out when y'all was giving me $230 when I wouldn't have needed the money to take care of the kids, Because most of the money now is going to the state, for the most part. The fathers don't work. They have no, one doesn't work. He's a street person. I'm going to put that out there. The other person works. He's on child support for one child, but he has a total of 6. So, and I know people that sometimes they get $10, $12 to
it just doesn't. It's not for the child. It's like I said, for the state to recoup whatever they have paid out. But it's not beneficial, because why would you wait 60 years? I'm a grandma, and there's very little to no resources for a grandparent when raising grandkids. The only way you really can get some help with grandkids if you go through making awards of the state through DCFS for Illinois. That's how you're going to get more resources. Because I chose not to do that, I really raised my grandkids and take care of them myself since I've had them. So, there's no help at all. So I was like I said, child support, like I said, I never would have thought, I'm waiting for a letter now to see. And if I don't go to court, they're going to take the medical card with this. It's for them. I'm not on any of this. I have a grandbaby that has asthma, so you're going to take away, if he needs to go to the doctor, he can't get assistance, or the 326 that they give me, they're going to take that. How is you taking what you give me for them, helping them? If I don't cooperate, it's like you said, you being forced to cooperate.
Of course.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Child support enforcement.
And I work, I've always worked. I work a full-time job. Sometimes I briefly work a part-time job, but I've always coincided where I can still interact. It doesn't affect how much time I spend with them. Or when I used to work 2 jobs and I took care of my children, I would work a job, my kids would be asleep, so they wouldn't miss me. In order to take care of them, because I never was big on child support. If somebody has a child, in my mind, your child is supposed to be your priority. You're supposed to be poor. You got to figure it out. If you work, the parents work together, or the significant others, or however you want to put it. But me being wiser, I can say honestly, I shouldn't have chose who I chose to be my kid's father. Now I would have made better choices, but that's as you learn as you get older. But yeah, that's just my spiel when it comes to child support. I don't think it doesn't really help at all. Like I said, it is about money. I can relate to a lot of what this caller is saying. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Love Sean.
Thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions before we let her
Yes.
go?
Miss Love Sean, where you been?
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, Miss Love Sean, where you been? We missed you.
He said, where you been? We've missed you.
I kind of been listening, but the last couple of weeks I was sick, so I really wasn't saying anything. I was on the line, though.
Okay. How are you feeling now?
Yeah,
I'm much
definitely.
better.
Good.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it. We love you.
No problem. Love you too. Keep doing what you do. You're making the difference.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh. Yes, ma'am. Peace. Ms. Phyllis Jackson said the reason the state is trying to collect is because the state budget is struggling.
How? We pay taxes.
Well, I want to say there's a book out called The Ferguson Report.
Mm-hmm.
And what Ms. Phyllis Jackson is saying is 1,000% correct. You get this book, it breaks down a lot of municipalities that on paper saying they're struggling as far as their budget, but they make tons of money off the court system. But the Ferguson Report is a good book to read. It's a good book to read. It exposes a lot of municipalities within St. Louis City and County. I want to add one little small thing. Even with child support, if you're in arrears, they do come after your driver's license. But how it has been impactful to me is that, it's once you get a system or a situation going with the company, and it's very, it's disheartening when they tell you, your services here is no longer needed. Your services here are no longer needed because you're ordered to pay child support. And you'd be like, well, dang, I got insurance. Insurance is rolling. You got your weekly payments coming out, and it doesn't affect you to where you're actually trying to build. But then when a company call you and they let you know from safety that we have to let you go because of that, man, that you back all over again, like John said, deadbeat daddy, deadbeat father. You ain't ish. Well, man, don't want to take care of they seed, and you can't live that down. No matter what, live that down. No, make an excuse. You're making excuses. You're a man. Man up. Making excuses.
That's right. So, but we're not overlooking the fact that yes, there are some men out there that try to avoid the responsibility, but there are also some women, and I'm saying just as many. It's just that men seem to be the ones that are always getting put on the front page when it comes to this, and but the difference is again, when a woman doesn't want a child, she can literally give that child up for adoption.
Mm.
A man cannot. All foster children have been put in foster care by way of their mother. So she can give up. So they still support her in her wanting not to take her responsibility. But the man cannot do that. So I'm just pointing that out to say there's a reason why this system is one-sided like that. It's not really to support the mother, but it's to create that dichotomy and that conflict, for this discord and this disorder that we always face in our communities with one another. We must by all means learn to starve the system of our presence. We must starve them of our presence by being more present in our communities and more present in our relationships with one another.
Facts.
And we will see them wither like a waterless flower. Then we see them wither that way, because you understand that the evil behind it all is the federal support that they get. This Federal Reserve, they always get federal money for bodies that are in prison. They get federal money for every case of child support they got. So it's always federal money. And then in turn, the feds, on the money that they give them to support these kind of things, they also the feds get interest.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it feeds the two entities. but that's where it comes from. If we can get rid of the feds, we get rid of most of our problems. And we find that our government itself, it itself wasn't the problem, but it was the feds that's the problem. So
All right,
absolutely.
Miss Jackson.
Yeah, Miss Jackson, I like that you
Okay,
pointed
Miss
out that
Jackson.
you said she pointed out she read the Ferguson report, and like I said, that is a good book. That is a very good book, very informative, very informative.
Yeah, Love Sean, the same thing too. I think in many instances, the mother is automatically considered the custodial parent. And then she has to be proven to be unfit in order
Good luck
for
with that one.
that custodial transference to happen. Yeah. So again, when both parents should have the rights, equal parental rights and parental function over their child, and then somebody should be sitting down with them mediating. Okay, let's talk about what y'all want for this child, because well, I don't want him to be Muslim. Well, I don't want him to be Christian. These kind of things happen, with the child. And but it
Scary.
should be a mediator there to help them work those things out, instead
that's
of just saying, hey, no, he's going to be my way, and and allowing that conflict to brew there and everything. So so we got a lot of work to do, people. This is one of those things that you have to just realize what you're doing to your to men, especially black men. And I'm not saying it only happens to black men,
Right.
but but just understand what you're doing, especially to black men when you put them in this system. A black man has no business in that system. Even if he is a deadbeat dad, there are other ways to reconcile that, and that's where we as a community have to come together and work out. So
Right. That's peace, brother. Sabada, man. I want to point out that if you're on child support, it's hard to get a passport.
Oh yeah, you can't get a passport if you got arrears and stuff. You can't get it ain't hard. You can't get one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is
Wow.
correct. And all you
Yeah.
have to be is 1,500 in the rear. On
Yeah.
child support. You can't get a
Mm.
passport.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1,500.
Yep. No passport. They really try to stop you from making any type of advancements.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's messed up.
Go, Miss Jackson. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, because I know if I had my hazmat, man. The average truck driver that has their hazmat make about like 130,000 a year. Them 6 figures right there off a hazmat. So imagine what they could do to a family. And let me say big ups, big love, big support, and big thank you to both of the mother of my children. I appreciate both of you queens.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh my God. We're coming up on an hour and 41 minutes. Does anybody have PTSD? Ooh.
Miss Phyllis Jackson.
Baby.
we man.
Yeah. I ain't looking up.
Yeah, child support can be a trigger for that too.
The mental health of the children being fought over. We haven't talked about that. How does it affect them?
Post-traumatic slave syndrome. She going in.
That sounds like a topic.
Well, I know in my case, I'm the stranger, and that hurts a lot.
What do you mean?
I'm the stranger. I'm not the I'm the sperm donor, not necessarily the parent.
So you don't really even feel inclusive. You don't feel included.
Included at all.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They've got to understand that it still takes two. You can't, you how you gonna do any kind of partnership when you're not making your partner feel included. You have to make sure that you allow them to feel included. And I know for me, and my youngest daughter, who's now in college, her mom, she makes sure that she sends me, she emails me her report cards, lets me know what she had coming up as far as meetings with a teacher. Let me know this is the date and time. Can you make it? I'm like, yeah, I'm making that. I'm making time to make that. So I'll counsel a client or something like that and meet her up there. We go to her award ceremonies and stuff like that together. But and that's the main thing is that my daughter, like I say, we've me and her mom, we've been separated since my daughter was 1.5 years old. Since she was 1.5 years. But my daughter she's always felt like she's had both her parents equally in her life. Always. And she's never seen us like bicker at each other. She saw it one time and it really broke her heart. She was just crying, and all I knew was all three of us is up there hugging each other, and I just said, I'm sorry. All three of us, we just hugging each other and crying. and it was really about, because it was just a touchy subject. We wasn't arguing about, me being a parent, me as a parent, but it was just a touchy subject, that we was talking about. Me and her mom got into this heated um, conversation, and it really hurt my daughter's feelings, because she had never heard that between me and her mom before. And then we all just hugged each other, cried, and apologized, and we said we won't do that again. But other than that, she's always seen love. She's seen appreciation and respect. Nothing but laughter. We laugh, we joke around, all that kind of stuff. You know. So in same thing with my son's mom. He's me and her, we just never had any issues. We've never had any issues, and uh, he knows that I'm there for his mom, like no matter what. He knows that. He trusts. He like, I'm gonna call my dad, even though she might have a boyfriend or something like that. But they always look. Well, let me call my dad. Let me call. They call me Nino. Still call me Nino for some reason. But yeah, but that's the thing. It's just that's when you feel involved. That's the relationship and interdependence that you feel, that you can look. That's priceless. That sense of security, that other aspect of how to be and how to have relationships and things like that. That stuff is not taught monetarily, unfortunately. That's only can be experienced, and it's gonna come by way of love and affection for one another. That's priceless. It's absolutely
Exactly.
priceless. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say, even in some cases, when a man is getting hit by the system, and he knows he's trying to put forth a great effort to be involved, that can still, all his energy, make him almost want to accept defeat.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? I mean, I'm doing all this. I'm trying to go about it the right way, but every corner, every stop sign, every stoplight, it's like, oh, you're a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat. You ain't being responsible. You ain't no man for real. You're not the true example of what a man looks like or what a man should be, let alone what a father should be. And that can really break you down. That'll make you. That could break you down. I was just gonna say it like that. That could break you down. And
Mhm.
even when you be like, hey, let me switch this up. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me try a little harder. I don't want to tell nobody because I'm still looked at as the deadbeat, no matter what angle you come from. And that it really can kill your spirit.
Yeah,
It can
and
kill
that's
your spirit.
that's that's if you let it define you, and we,
Hmm.
for those of us who have really put in the effort, no matter how much effort we put in and how successful we were or were not, but we still can't let those things define us. It's the effort itself, it's the intention, that becomes your defining factor. The fact that this is what I intended. I was always willing to be there and to be in my children's life. But these circumstances that had been conjured up were not my doing. And I even
Hmm.
tried to go around them. So that tenacity there has a lot to say. Now that's what defines me. I'm tenacious when it comes to something I'm passionate about, when it comes to something I love so much, so, and then but all they see is, oh, but you wasn't there. But you don't see her, you don't see the tricks that she's pulling to make sure I'm not. They don't pay attention to that. Again, that's them stupid novels and stuff like that. That's where that comes from. Um, yeah, but we definitely can't let those things define us. We strong men, and we are very strong, loving, compassionate, willing fathers. And I want the whole world to know that and understand that. That's what we are. Always have been. All right.
Yeah, I had a this is a while back. I just want to share this because of that. I'm being open right now. First, let me say, Miss Phyllis Jackson, we greatly appreciate you.
Man.
You are going in tonight, and we love the support. We love the support. Please don't forget to share all of this and to uh, follow each and every one of us on our platform, Facebook and YouTube. We also have a Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
I,
Things that
I
people
want
don't
to
want to
say,
talk about.
yeah, things that people don't want to talk about. Her statement: we can't accept the narrative that has been placed on our culture, which that's true. Because at that particular point, as my brother Master Skywalker says, that holds us to a different responsibility, accountability. Yeah, that holds us to be accountable. Um, but I had to have a talk with my oldest son, and he felt like due to the circumstances of child support that it pulled me away or required me to try to put forth a greater effort than what I was doing or work a little harder to make more money. Um, the first time he saw, I just showed him what was going on because he felt like I didn't love him no more, and I was showing him child support papers, and it blew his mind. He didn't understand it. He's like, "So what you're saying is you are going to court for this?" I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." So when I say that I'm kind of tight, I can't move like I want to no more. This is why. Yeah, and he really felt like dad didn't love him no more and didn't care about him no more. And that wasn't the case. And I mean I even been told that I probably shouldn't have exposed um him to that, but I felt like it was necessary because like I said, we already have a stigma on melanated men, black men, that you always got some excuse on why not to be responsible. All kind of excuses. I'm not running from nobody. Um, I love all three of mine. I'm very appreciative of my boys and my daughter. Um, and even now, I say it a lot. No matter what, I'm of service. Um, and I'm not gonna give up on repairing the relationship between me and my daughter by any means necessary. But this court stuff does keep me in a pickle, keeps me in a bind. And if I didn't care and I didn't love my daughter, I'd have been gave up years ago.
Mm.
I'd have been gave up. I never would have tried to make any attempts. I would just be like, I don't care no more. It ain't worth it. When you try to go about doing the right things, man, it seems like the system, like, oh yeah, here, try this one. You like that one? This one over here gonna make you dance a little more. I got a little bit
Right.
more, a little bit more salt for that wound. Open up. Oh no, this Himalayan salt. Yeah, you like that? They got an extra burn to it. Yeah,
Right.
but I would never speak down on either one of my children's mother because I am very appreciative of them continuing to do their due diligence to be there for my children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
but once I get this child support off me, boy, watch what happens.
I'm gonna be on one of them trips to the moon, huh? Or to Mars.
Man, I'm going hard in the paint. No restrictions,
Mhm.
no handcuffs, no more being arrested. Like I
It's
actually
something
got
else. Like,
arrested. I'm sorry.
no, you go for it. You finish up.
No, yeah, this is my last piece on this.
Hmm.
I was embarrassed. I got arrested at Procter and Gamble, actually on their lot picking up a load, and I just couldn't believe it. And they took me to
Really?
the yes. This was in Jackson, Missouri. They took me to the precinct, had me fingerprinted, booked in, and everything. And I never seen a sergeant and officer argue about the situation. It was basically like, yeah, he has a warrant for unpaid child support, and the officer was trying to explain to him that's in St. Louis County. It has nothing to do with us. It's not even in our jurisdiction. And I was like, wow. So you mean that the load I just had it recovered? They charged me for a recovery fee of the load, and they released me from the company afterwards after I got the truck back to them. And when I say embarrassing and that hurt, because at that time I had insurance coming out, and like I say, the system was going pretty good for me as far as that company goes, because like John said, I wasn't worried about it. It was coming out every week, and I wasn't missing a beat as far as being as far as co-parenting for my other two boys, but man, that stuff, when I say it hurt, it's like ain't nothing you could do about it. You just gotta accept it. You can't cry about it, can't whine about it. You just gotta keep pushing forward. And that, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It always seems like they come up at those most inopportune times. And
man,
and one thing I want to just finally say this, because I think it's important part that we had overlooked this whole time. But I know somebody personally who has gone through pretty much a lot of what you described there, King, and the constant, being jailed and called into court and can't do nothing, can't do this and all this thing, the constant conflicts, really wanting to be with his child, but had this belligerent baby mama who just wanted to hurt him, and that was it. Well, this guy ended up killing himself behind all of that. He ended up killing himself, and then come to find out, it's there are plenty of men who have been put on suicide watch because of this child support system. And I just think that, so we have to think about the mental repercussions, because now we're getting back into mental health. How does this affect us mentally? It has an effect, because it really locks you out of your ability to move around society as a free person. You out here can't even feel free. You ain't got no child support. You ain't got no passports. You don't have any licenses. You can't do anything.
Facts.
Can't even just go somewhere like to another state and rent a car. You can't even do something like that. You can't get a job that actually, because most jobs are now checking credit before they hire you. And now
it's called the Right to Hire Act. This is very, very important. Very, very important. I missed out on a great. I'm sorry, I'm almost getting emotional right now. I missed out on a great opportunity that no matter. Man, look, I missed out on a great opportunity with JB Hunt. I had the opportunity to make $168,000 a year as a company driver with JB Hunt. JB Hunt won't even mess with me because of child support.
See, they ugly. Yep. So
especially Jackson.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to talk about that. The mental health. We got to go back to
but you hear what I'm saying though? Listen to what I'm saying.
Yes.
So even if you saying that, and I'm still not trying to say nothing negative towards the mother at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying once you're in this system right here, once they got their claws in you, it ain't nothing you can really do for real. Ain't really nothing you could do. But I'm gonna say it again: 168,000. What is it that I couldn't be able to do for my daughter, my children? Period.
Right.
At 168,000, when the average man makes 43,000 a year.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm not saying this to look for sympathy. I ain't saying this to not a side story, none of that. I'm just saying, just think about what I'm saying. If you already have it in your mindset that black men ain't shit, what could 168,000 do for 3 kids? You divide that by 12. What number you get up?
Oh, I'm just saying, come with it. You're getting over $30,000 a month.
Come on, man. Just. But of course, I'm the deadbeat, and it's like I'm making excuses. Figure it out. Just get another job. Okay, but then now on the other end, if I'm working 2 jobs, where's the time that I'm supposed to be spent? It's all good.
Hmm. Yeah. So I want you to hang in there, brother. Hang in there. Just know you still got your brothers here to talk to, your sister.
Oh, facts. Be facts.
You know. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yes. Yes.
I am so
So hang in
sorry.
there. So I just like again I you know this does take that kind of a toll on men too, because we can't function, and it really does emasculates men. That system that's still called, and it's another form of what they call buck breaking. It's another form of buck breaking. Yeah. So stop allowing them to do it to us, black women. We love you. Let's do better and teach our daughters correctly.
Indeed. Indeed.
You know that's a Class D felony.
Is it?
That's a Class D felony. I ain't hurt nobody. I ain't robbed nobody. I ain't killed nobody. I'm classified as a felon.
Mm-mm.
I knew I was going to be doing a lot of listening today. A lot of listening.
What? Part 2, maybe, I guess.
I don't know how y'all feel about that.
It depends on how deep y'all want to go, because we can still, again, get
Yeah.
into the psychological aspects and
I
the
think,
social aspects,
the
all that.
mental health and child support. Yeah. Child support and how it affects the mental health of the man. I'm
Yeah.
throwing that out there. What do you all think?
I
mean, we
all
can
I'm
go
saying is-
backstage and talk about it. I mean, we don't have to decide right here.
right. That's peace. That's peace.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm just saying for people that instantly consider thinking that this is the best way to make a man cooperate. You just had a lady call in, Miss Carla, and say that they play the game so that way they can make sure that you already start off on a bad note. It's a game. And then, it's man.
Men, children, and family. Okay. Go Jackson.
Yeah, it's just a dirty game, man. I don't wish child support on nobody.
Yeah. And we don't forget that the other part of this, where the women actually get drugged through the mud, is through social services.
Facts.
So-called
Facts.
child protective agencies and stuff like that.
Child protective services. Yeah, when they step in and be like, "Thank you for your child."
Oh yeah.
And
Women
unbeknownst
get
to you, like I said, you signed that birth certificate. You awarded your child to the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Oh, you can look this up. This public information. I ain't lying about
yeah.
nothing I'm talking about. When I say I done did my due diligence behind this, come on, man.
It's a dirty game. Financial aid, child services. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dirty game, baby. It's
Yes.
a dirty game.
And then if you're trying to force me to be a model citizen or an upright man, black man at that, be a pillar in the community, a productive citizen, how you feel is,
I get it, brother. I get it, brother. It just doesn't add up, does it?
It don't. I mean, even if you won. Okay, now what? I can't even purchase a gun. Can't get a passport. I'm not allowed. Now, here's the other part. As an independent contractor, I'm not even allowed on any. I'm gonna say this again. This part right here hurt me the most. I'm not allowed on any port or any government base. I can't even get government contracts.
Yep, castrated you. That is economic castration. That's what that is. That's true too, Phyllis. That's why they came up with this whole real ID thing. That makes no sense to me.
A real ID.
Real ID versus, I actually, when I went to go get my ID driver's license, I thought I had the real deal, and then turned out, no, you don't have a real ID. It's going to expire, and if you don't get the real one, I said, what you mean? I was just at the DMV and got this. What you mean a real one? Show my birth certificate, show the social security card. What you mean a real one? This is real. It's a state official.
Nope,
So
no
no,
longer.
it's not. Yeah, it's no longer just about that. It's now this, and I'm like, what is that? So I just paid $36 for a fake ID.
Technically, yeah. Technically,
yeah, makes
but
no
you got to
sense.
get that real ID, and without that real ID, you can't even move about the state, let alone the country, let alone get a passport, let alone take a flight.
And I think what they looking for now is an actual proof of your address.
That part.
Like you have to have proof, like a letter from a bank or something like that with your name on it, with your address on it, that you're gonna be using on the ID.
Or your
That's what makes it real.
or your lease agreement, or
Your lease
your
agreement.
insurance, electric, gas, water bill,
Yeah,
trash bill.
any of that. Mm-hmm.
See, Miss Phyllis
Yeah.
know about it. It's
Yeah.
it's the new slave papers. You won't be able to fly to other states.
So, and if you don't have it by October of 2023, you won't be able to fly. Yep. October of 2023. So,
And this
go
is
to-
all if you are behind in child support.
No, this is that's for everybody.
That part is for everybody. But
Yeah.
if you are behind in child support, you can't obtain one.
Right.
All you gotta do is be $1,500 behind.
No, it's for everyone. Oh wow. Okay. I learn something new every day. You know I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this whole show. Rewatch this whole show.
All right. We at 208.
Yes, we are.
And I'm gonna say this last piece for the women that feel like, F him, he ain't no good, he a deadbeat, he trash. He can't even move forward with the next woman because she just feels like we can't do that. Can't get married, can't
Travel.
He can't travel, and women love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do nothing. Then if they take his driver's license, he can't drive nowhere. You got to drive all the time. Now he all over a deadbeat to the new woman. He is trash. He's dead. He's done. He's done. You don't want to put his name. You don't want to acquire his debt because when you get married, y'all become one.
No, and when you file taxes, you file injured spouse. My ex-husband owed child support, so every year When I filed taxes, we will always file. I would always file injured spouse, meaning whatever debt he came with, that was with him prior to us getting married is still considered his responsibility, even the child support. So they would not touch my money, but they will take his.
But it ain't about the money, like
Yeah,
Sabada Ahmed said, and
I
like
get
how
all of that. Yeah,
yeah,
but
the
you was
mental
saying,
aspect of
yeah,
think about it. How do you look at him as a protector or provider or provision? You don't look at him like that no more. He trash. He's just like a one with a high body count.
we
You're
need.
not wanted. Nobody wants you no more.
Hmm. Shay. Oh, look like we lost John.
Yeah, he said he gotta go, y'all. Salute.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, we need to go ahead and wrap this one up. Do y'all have anything y'all want to say before we end the show?
Phyllis
Nope.
Jackson said the government is currently crafting legislation that will establish child support orders at birth if the parents are not married at the time of the child being born.
Have your births at home, y'all. Get a doula, a midwife.
That part. And go back
Leave
to
these
the old
hospitals alone.
traditional
That's
ways.
right.
No more birth certificates. Write it in the Bible. Here, hold on to
Mhm.
this Bible.
Yep, it's time to put this system to ruin because it's ruined us.
That part. I'm off my soap opera.
All right, sis, it's all you.
Y'all
Game
sure?
time. Game time.
Are y'all sure? Because this is pretty raw. I'm warning you. I am warning you.
It might be what the microphone need right now.
That's
Uh,
right.
okay, now it's raw, uncut. Okay.
You think we need censorship?
Okay. Please be advised. I'm sorry. Let's try it again. Please be advised. I am from St. Louis, Missouri, which is considered the most dangerous city in America. However, my intellect allows me to sit with these intellectuals with a dialect that is understood by the masses. I am professional and hood, so the message will always be understood no matter what class you're in. Now, brace yourself because I know you used to lacing yourself with lies you'd be telling yourself daily. And just maybe after hearing this message, you can start acting like a lady, a real woman. Not a hood bitch, drunk bitch running the streets talking about you, that bitch. Looking for another nigga to trick off his back, but in his mind, you just another one night stand. You dropped your drawers and wonder why he don't call or return your calls. You thought you was getting shopping sprees at the mall, but instead got pounded like a dog. I guess that's why you label yourself as a bitch. Constantly doing mind tricks for niggas who ain't really about shit. Same shit, dumb shit. Oh, my bad. You a bad bitch for attention. Let's not mention your children. Mama's babies, daddy's babies. You run the child support for full support. When they get gone and grown, they gonna treat you like the men you brought home because all you ever exposed them to was wrong. Nothing right, always down to fight up in the clubs every night, hoping the next trick do you right. Bitch, sit down. You giving women like me a bad name all over town. Let me give you the game so you can stop looking lame. Maybe aim for something higher than a street name. Ho. But you think that shit is cute, but I'm here to mute. No salute on your acute ratchet behavior. They got you thinking that they got you thinking you the shit when you act like trash. I guess that's why all of your clothes is in a garbage bag. What you looking for on the outside is already within. You're not gonna find it fucking every time, Dick and Harry, including Mr. Ken. Close your legs and get off your back and learn the real meaning to stack. Your money, not your body. And if it was all of that, I wouldn't be able to see the tracks in your head. Yet you claim to be about your bread. Start loving yourself instead of fucking yourself. The opportunity for growth, now that's real wealth. I'd rather talk about your degrees and not your STDs. I want to bring you up to my level, but first, you got to get off your knees.
Whoa.
This God level things that people don't want to talk about. We will see you all back. We will see you all back here next week. I would say, John, who got me tonight? How do we do this? We just ended.
Man.